So I want to make this video absolutely clear. I am not putting these two monumental women against each other. And I think they're both amazing with what they've accomplished. I'm making this video because I've always wanted to know the world's opinion on a topic like this. Who is the bigger artist, Taylor Swift or Beyonce? I know this is going to spark a whole thing. This entire thought sparked from a podcast that I seen with Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz.
You saw Taylor?
This is the greatest live concert I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
The only person you can compare Taylor Swift to is Michael Jackson.
Really?
There's nobody else. You're doing a disrespect and a disservice to any other artist. Taylor Swift, the only person you can compare.
And you've seen Beyonce.
Son, I've seen Beyonce.
No, you haven't.
Woo!
No, you haven't.
I've seen Beyonce.
No, you haven't. Stop.
I've seen Beyonce. But here's the thing. There's no question Beyonce is a much better dancer.
Now let's pick apart a couple of things here. First off, we have to make it clear that what we're basing the metrics on as far as the bigger artist. We can talk about the sales. We can talk about just numbers all around. But I definitely do think that we need to talk about the influence that these artists have. And we also need to explain, what does your discography leaves for your fans and the artists who come after you once your time is up. I'm going to say it now before I start the video. I'm from New York and I had a good amount of female cousins in my family, and Beyonce has been a part of my childhood. I will attempt to remain, a non-bias for the sake of the comparisons, but I will be brutally honest to both sides. So there may be some B's who don't like, what I have to say, but there also may be some upset Swifties, but we're playing on both sides of the field just for the sake of validity. Now let's start with Taylor Swift. Signing at 14 years old as a songwriter, Taylor Swift got into music just so early. I mean, imagine being in the 8th grade and signing a major record deal. I mean, that's already an amazing start. Her first single, Tim McGraw, was a huge success, spending 8 months on the Billboard country chart alone. Following, she dropped her debut album, Fearless, selling more than 1 million copies in the US. It was safe to say that Taylor Swift was already on a path for greatness at such an early stage. I mean, she was only 14 years old and she was already breaking numbers that artists nowadays world still haven't broke. Now let's move to Beyonce. Beyonce formed the incredibly talented girl group Destiny's Child. I don't know if she actually formed it herself, but I do know she was a part of everyone that was in Destiny's Child. And Destiny's Child, if you didn't know, the original name for Destiny's Child was called Girls Time in 1990. Taylor Swift was 1 year old. Just think about that. She was 1 year old and Beyonce already started her first music group. Just a cool fact. It has nothing to do with anything. But Destiny's Child went on to do amazing things like getting Grammys and selling more than 8 million before social media was even a thing. Like, imagine selling 8 million views of people actually going out and getting your copies in stores. Like, that is a big achievement. They reached #1 on billboards, and I won't speak, too much of Destiny's Child, but it has to get mentioned, and once Beyonce did drop her first solo album, Dangerously in Love, in 2003, featuring singles like Crazy in Love, featuring Jay-Z and Baby Boy, it topped charts around the world, winning 5 Grammy Awards in 2004. So to be fair, Beyonce had an earlier start in 1990s, but there were factors that I put into thought about why I'm saying this. Beyonce was making music before social media was a big thing, and it was a completely different world. Streaming was not a thing. You had CDs, and the only way that people could listen to you was through these CDs, and your name going worldwide was typically word of mouth. There was no Instagram post going viral. They can get you in newspapers if you're big enough to get in those. You have to break some type of record, or you have to do something quite incredible to be publicized as a celebrity to the world, because there wasn't multiple ways to read about celebrities. Now, I'm not trying to take away from Taylor with what I say about Beyonce and starting early, because what Taylor Swift did was also amazing, but it was slightly easier to be Taylor Swift at the time that she was, to become a star on social media rather than to become a star without it. This also just says that Beyonce has been famous for over 20 years at this point. Do you know how many artists has fell off since then? So to still even be pulling numbers to go against someone like Taylor Swift is just amazing to say, But let's talk more on Taylor and let's kind of dive into her situation. Taylor Swift quickly became a star though. And when I say star, I mean she was a star. She has been able to make music so relatable that it makes no thought to why she has such a wide variety of fans. Kids can play her music, adults, and even the elderly. I mean, her music is extremely diverse. She also does an amazing job at grounding herself when it comes to her fame. I could only imagine having the bank account of Taylor Swift and the influence and still being able to be so relatable. Like, it's honestly sounds crazy. Like, imagine just being a millionaire and having kids who are in like middle school relate to you. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's an incredible talent song to speak like that and to still be relatable when you are in all ways and shapes and forms unrelatable. She typically does this by speaking on stories of her unsettling past and sometimes just situations that are happening in her present day. In 2009, her first tour as a headliner was going insane. I mean, selling out venues across North America, winning Album of the Year. This is when her huge canon moment happened in history. Every single Taylor Swift fans know what happened on that traumatic night. I mean, it was a night that played into her career as a catalyst of her upcoming future. The Kanye West incident. Kanye stepped on stage and stated that Beyonce deserved Video of the Year, which is all subjective, of course. I enjoy the Single Ladies video by Beyonce, but of course, Taylor's You Belong With Me was also a creative video as well, and the song was even bigger. I mean, I literally just got off YouTube and I just checked the stats on Taylor Swift's video, and that video has over 1.5 billion views. Yes, billions with a B. Kanye sparked a huge debate across the world, putting the spotlight on Taylor and running an entire series, it felt like, on the situation. Taylor Swift was just going through it. I know she moved out the country for a while and there was a lot of focus on her, but it also helped when it came to her fans and just her fans doubling down for her to the point where they would not let that situation happen again. The reason I just bring this all up to say is just that event played such a big moment on the negative side, but also on a positive side to her career. The Swifties witnessing everything that happened just locked in how hard they would ride for her at this point. It's like seeing your favorite person get bullied, essentially. Not only are you gonna make sure that they never get bullied again, but you're gonna make sure that they're living their best life so something as traumatizing like that would not happen again. So from here on out, the Swifties are not only protecting Taylor, but they resonate with her music even more, and now her fans are even more grounded to her. Fast forward to 2023 and what's happening? Taylor Swift is on tour and she is breaking worldwide numbers. I mean, supposedly she ranked in $4.1 billion. Yes, another B, billion dollars from her Eras tour, compared to Beyonce's Renaissance tour making around 600 million. So let's start to wrap this up, right? Beyonce has been famous for longer. She starred in movies. She even created a mogul family with famous rapper Jay-Z and is still able to make the world stop in 2023 when she announces a tour. Taylor Swift, on the other hand, is younger and quadrupling Beyonce number when it comes to sales and tickets. They both have extremely loyal fan bases. I do think Taylor wins when it comes to sales wise. I think she is more accessible by people. Her songs can be seen as kid friendly, and that does play a huge difference when it comes to your crowd and when it comes to sales. Beyonce definitely makes more adultish songs. Singing about, you know, provocative actions and such. And sometimes that can limit your fan base. Not saying that she does this with every song, but she does do it more than Taylor Swift. To my knowledge, I haven't really heard a Taylor Swift song that was provocative to the point where she's not using subliminal messages to say what she's saying. Now let's talk about chart numbers. Taylor Swift has 12 albums. Beyonce has only came out with 7 albums. Taylor Swift has 12 Grammys and Beyonce has 32. But you do have to factor in that Beyonce has been getting Grammys before Taylor Swift was even in the scene. But as far as influence, I would have to give it to Beyonce. She definitely creates a new world with all her projects in such a unique spot in hip hop and R&B. Where country has been around for a while, there has not been a hip hop artist like Beyonce since her genre got started. Taylor Swift being so relatable makes it so hard for her to stand out as far as influence. Yes, she can influence people, but when I say influence, I'm talking about it's influencing people to do something different. She necessarily touches on actions that are probably happening in everyone's life, current situation. She just makes them feel better in that moment. Her music, it gives them an escape to go to for a while. Now, as for Beyonce, I feel like her music is definitely something that is a little bit more extraterrestrial. That's the best way I can explain it. When I say extraterrestrial, I mean she does a thing where you can't really relate to her. She seems almost godly at times, and it's because of the things that she raps about. It's because of the experiences that she raps about. And not to say that she's necessarily stunting on all of her fans, but she makes it known that she has worked hard and she has become this mogul because of just who she is and what she's been able to do. As much as I don't want to say Kanye West may have embarrassed the shit out of Taylor Swift, but he has helped propel her to an unreachable state. Would she get here without Kanye West? I believe so. Beyonce, though, in my eyes, is literally a one-of-a-kind superstar. Taylor is so down to earth. Taylor Swift is so down to earth, and what she has done will be memorable, but I do feel as if she is so normal that it will not be hard to fill her footsteps in future generations to come. This is my take on it. Are you a Swiftie, or are you a part of the Beehive? Or even crazier, are you both? Let me know your opinion on the topics, and thank you for tuning in.